This is Mark Anthony with MercurySignals.com, and welcome to our end-of-day video update for September 3rd. All right, we've got a lot to talk about after today's action. Before we get started, some quick housekeeping. If you'd like to get a hold of us, our website is MercurySignals.com. That's signals with an S. Email Mark Anthony at MercurySignals.com and on Twitter at MC2085. So let's start with the NQ chart that we posted on our website Friday of last week, the 28th. And as a matter of fact, let's just pop over to the website. And if you click on our chart of the day section, and I've got to update this with the daily charts for this week. If you click on our chart of the day section, this is the chart we posted at the end of week Friday. And the caption was very simple: NQ futures close a bullish week in a dangerous pattern. The Mercury band algorithm, which is just one of the tools that we provide traders, and I'm going to let you in on a secret in this video of the key to algorithmic trading and why it's so important to use precise algorithms when you're trading. It's not enough to know information in real time. Everybody's got real-time quotes. I mean, nobody's day trading or swing trading or doing trading of any kind for the most part on a 20-minute delayed data feed. Everybody's got real-time info. So having real-time info and seeing things in real time is not enough. The primary reason that institutions went to algorithmic trading is not simply because algorithms are better traders than humans. It's because the algorithms know the key algorithmic pivot points before the day starts, and they're ready to take action at those points. Now, if you don't know what those key levels are before the day starts, you are starting the day at a huge disadvantage. Well, our members don't have that disadvantage because our members know the same algorithmic levels that the institutions have before the day starts. And as a matter of fact, before the Globex session starts. So let's start Globex last night. These are our Mercury bands algorithm for S&P futures. This was published last night before the Globex session started at 6 o'clock Eastern time. So you've got all the algorithmic levels, all right? The level, and I didn't think there was any way this thing was going over 3,600, but this level here, 35.8394. And by the way, it closed right in that area on Wednesday the 2nd. Where the price is trading at the time we run the algorithms has zero to do with the algorithmic levels. Algorithms are based on multi-time cycle mechanics. The institutions have machine learning algorithms just like we do, and they run their data sets at certain times of the day, just like we do. Let me be precise, not certain times of the day, exact times of the day. They crunch all these time cycle dynamics. It gives you prices. We give those same prices to our members every day. So this is what we put out last night before Globex opened. All right. Now let's look at what happened last night. Here's that level, 35.8394. What was the Globex high? It poked a little bit above that, but you cannot get any more precise than that. And you broke all these. Look at how many Mercury bands you broke today. You came up to this one, and that put in the top. You broke this Mercury band, this Mercury band, this Mercury band, this one, and this one, and this one, and came down into this one at the end of the day. And every single one of these levels was published for our members before the Globex session started last night. That is the advantage that institutional algorithms have that you don't have if you're trading without this stuff. I mean, look, it's hard enough to trade against machine institutional algorithms, even knowing these data points, because you have to manage risk and make decisions when it gets to those levels. But if you don't even know where these levels are, it is darn near impossible to trade these markets. So our members had all this stuff before the market opened last night, all right? And in addition to that, when you break these regression lines, they're nasty in both directions. So you come up here, a little bit of a pullback to this other regression line. You come up here, back down to the same regression line, and then you get that blast off. Now, when price fights over these and then gets price acceptance on the other side of an algo regression line, it's like a bungee cord. Boom. So you get the move up into here, and that ultimately was your high last night. All right. Now, let's keep with that theme, knowing the levels before they occur. These are the NASDAQ futures. Now, we run the NASDAQ algorithm a little bit differently. The S&P 500, the ES futures, we run those every night between 5 and 6 o'clock after we get the full day session futures closed. Now, how's this for predictive? The NASDAQ NQ futures Mercury bands are run on Sunday. We run the data set for the whole week on Sunday. Now, think about that. You run a whole week's worth of algos before the week even starts. Right? This is exactly what we distributed to our members on Sunday afternoon before the Globex Open. Here's what we saw today. I mean, look at that. The high level on that sheet on Sunday, 12,452.64. Now, I know that NASDAQ doesn't trade to 2 decimals. That's the way our algo puts out the data. But here's the upper extension, 12,452.64. Here's today's chart. Where did it find its high yesterday? Right there, 12,452. Now, in addition to that, in the morning before the market opens, we provide our members with the daily algo bull bear pivot. This is and this is run about 2 hours before the day session even opens. If the only thing that our service provided is this number, it would literally be worth its weight in gold. And by the way, the same algorithm works for gold, for Bitcoin, for currencies, for single stocks. We've been publishing these daily bull bear pivots on Twitter. We're not going to keep doing this forever. So those of you that have been looking at them in the morning, God bless you. You made money off them. We're not going to keep doing this every day forever. But you can look back, pardon me, at that single level every day. And it doesn't matter whether it's a futures contract, whether it's a single stock like Apple or Microsoft, which we publish every day, currencies, it doesn't matter. That is the most important number on the board every day. So here's the daily bull bear pivot we published for NQ 2 hours before the day opened, right there. Now, let's show you the same thing, daily bull bear pivot for S&P 500. And we published it on Twitter before the market opened. Now, our members got it way before that. But we published it on Twitter about 5 minutes before the open. Our members already knew over an hour, almost an hour and a half prior to that, this was the level to watch. And there you go. We published it for our members here about 8 o'clock. And again, it has nothing to do with where price is trading. There are times when price is trading close to that algorithmic level, has zero to do with that. So you get this little push down, you get this move back up, and that's it. And there it goes. And these Mercury bands are very binary. Either price will stop right at them like you see here, or price will break. And when price breaks through these Mercury bands in either direction, coming from underneath up through or from above down through, if they don't hold, this is what you get. You get hard breaks of these. So it's just like we give our members the daily bull bear pivot in the morning before the day session opens. Every one of these Mercury bands is its own bull bear pivot. Every single one of them. Now, what kind of advantage is that to know that before the day session opens? Before. I put on a swing short, Wednesday, right into the end of the day. Put it on at 35.72. That was taken off in 2 pieces today for 159 handles between the two pieces, and I took it off way too early. I took it off the last of it. I mean, I took it off in here. And there's a lot more to that, but you know, you enter a swing trade at the end of the day one day, and you take it off the next morning, and it's 157 or 58 handles. You know, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? I'll take that swing trade every day. So let's move right along. Now, here's where it gets really freaky. The Mercury bands are long cycle algos, okay? And we publish those ES every night before Globex opens, NQ Sunday before Globex opens. Now, here's where it gets really freaky. Because I guarantee you there is not an institutional algo that does what you see right here. These are called Mercury descriptive pivots, and we run these in the morning because we need all that overnight data from the Globex evening session and the European session. We need all that data. And what you see on here, and you know, people throw around the term machine learning. This is the epitome of machine learning, because our Mercury descriptive pivots algorithm not only gives us the price level, it gives us the type of characteristic behavior to expect when price actually gets to those levels. Now think about that. You're not just getting the price level, you're getting the type of behavior. So trend pivots are trend pivots. Acceleration pivots do what they say. And it works on both the price side of the ledger and the tick algos. So let's take a look. And this was published for our members before the day was up. Now there's a lot of levels on this chart. We don't pay attention to all of these. The reason I knew today was going to be an important day, because there's usually only about 6, 7, maybe 8 at the most levels that the algo identifies as, quote, relevant or important. You can see how many it put on here today. So when this algo was run this morning, and I saw that there has never been this many levels. Now, this down here, the X5 institutional pivot, that is super duper important every single day. But the algos that are run before the market opens, I've never seen this many of them flagged. And that told me this morning, well, if this thing's ever going to dump, today's the day. And we knew that just by virtue of the sheer number of levels that our machine learning algo said was important that morning. And this is the most it's ever flagged ever. And now you talk about freaky. This is in what we do for our members is, after I run this algo, I take the levels that the algorithm flags and I overlay them on the price chart. So they're right here. This is a version of the live chart that our members see. So I put these levels on here. So you not only get the algorithms and the oscillators that are moving in and out of the chart, you get these fixed price points. Now, one of the cool things about these fixed horizontal levels is it gives you waypoints or markers or road signs, if you will, of places to lock in profit. So you take these, the descriptive pivots. This is the data sheet. We publish this on our Slack channel for our members. But so that they don't have to sift through all these levels and figure out which ones have greater importance, we do that for them in the morning. And this is what it looks like. Now, again, descriptive algo, not just the levels, but price behavior. Here's your multi-day trend algo. And we have a short cycle and a long cycle. This breaks, you know there's a problem. Trend confirmation, and by the way, I want you to notice each of these little shaded ovals, how precise the movement is. You break the daily bull bear pivot, you come up to it almost to the tick. Then you come down literally to the tick, to the multi-day trend algo. Then you come down literally to the tick, to the trend confirmation pivot. And again, all of this was run before the market even opened for the day session. All right, so you come down literally to the tick, to the trend confirmation pivot. You come down literally to within 1 or 2 ticks of the tick reflex pivot. Now, if price doesn't bounce off that tick reflex pivot, there's a problem. You got a teeny bounce, a couple of handles, and then splat. Where does it come down to? To the handle within a couple ticks. Backtest pivot. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's all published on our Slack channel. It's all date and time stamped. Our members see this every single day. So again, price comes down to the backtest pivot, and it doesn't bounce more than a couple handles. And oh, by the way, it stops it at yesterday's X5 institutional pivot. Let me pause for a minute. The reason this institutional algo is called X5 is because they're relevant for 5 days. And then every day, the algo is generated a little bit into the day session. But that is the key level for the institutional algos every day. Now, you know how long that cycle is? You know, a lot of traders are used to trading on 5-minute bars, 10-minute bars. This institutional cycle, each bar is over 6 hours. Each bar. See, the institutions aren't sitting there day trading off of 5-minute bars. They're not. There's very specific levels, and they either support price at those levels or they let it go. And today you had one of the biggest sell programs that I've seen. I mean, look at the overall tick chart for the day. It was nuts, the magnitude of the sell program that was run. So when you come down into yesterday's X5 institutional pivot, first thing that you knew is it didn't bother to stop. It went right through it. And after it came right through, where did it backtest to? Right there, to the tick. So you come down to the backtest pivot, you get a little bit of a bounce back up. In this X5 pivot had already been generated at the time that this happened. Down to the backtest pivot, you get a little jog back up that stops right here. That's where the sell program was launched, right there on that tick at that level on that backtest. Then you break the backtest pivot. You come down here through the trend change warning pivot. That's why it's called the trend change warning pivot. Again, right off the sheet. Trend change warning pivot. And let's go back to our chart. And there's actually, there's more than one trend change warning pivot. This one actually, forgive me. Let me go back. We'll get this right. Tick trend change warning pivot right there. I should have read the label myself. That's a big deal. You break that, you fail the back test almost to the tick. Then you come down to another X5 institutional algo pivot. Stops right there, comes back up, and that was what we call an algo hook. They bought this. What the institutional algos do, they've got a primary agenda, which you saw right here on this back test. And then they'll do this nonsense throughout the day. Ooh, there we go. 3503, Roundy's going to hold, right? Boom. Nope. Back to the tick trend change warning pivot. Splat. Now, that's a pretty long bar right there. All right. That's the over 3,500. It's about a 15 handle bar. Stops to the tick at the price acceleration pivot. Now, here's the thing with these acceleration pivots. Price has to go a long way to get to them. So when price first gets to them, you get this reflexive reaction to the tick. I mean, literally, gang, to the tick. You cannot make this stuff up. And if I were you sitting there watching this, I wouldn't believe this, except for the fact that A, we publish it for our members every day, and B, you see this on these charts every single day, every day. So you come down to the price acceleration pivot. You get a little back test to where? X5 institutional pivot. They sold it again, and this is where you get the accelerative, easy for you to say. And I'm not going to try and say that twice. The level that accelerates, how's that? And what does it do? It accelerates through. Now here they weren't playing any games. It didn't stop at this X5 pivot from last Thursday. You went, to pass go, collect $200. There is no pause. Boom. Now you got a back test. Where did the back test stop? X5, institutional pivot. Again, for the third time, you can't make this stuff up. This pivot was on here since Thursday. This one was on here since Monday, this X5 pivot. This was on there from yesterday. So you come down here, bounce back up. I mean, it's crazy. And this is what machine algorithms do, because they're programmed to react at these levels every single day. So now you come down and you jog around this acceleration pivot and it breaks again. And where does it stop? Swing trend pivot. Now this one's a big deal. And we traded back into that this evening. Right now it's, 10:04 Eastern time. So you can see right back into it tonight, 34.58. But, and let me ask you a question. If you were looking at this trading today and you knew where these levels are, would you have had a better day today? Think about that. If you haven't been to our website, mercurysignals.com, after looking at this chart, what is that worth on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? Now, go to our website and take a look at what we charge for this. It is insane. It is ridiculously low for what we give you every single day. I'm telling you, my friends, and if you've watched these videos that we put out before, you know that these are the same algorithms that institutions paid millions of dollars. Why is so much of our information, quote unquote, suppressed on the internet? I don't know, you figure it out. But this is every day it does this. So we got a couple more slides to show you. This gives you a wider look at the technical damage that was done today with regard to the algo regression lines. Again, look at how many times you bounced off this. 1, 2, 3, break and a bungee move up, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. And what happens when it breaks? So these algo regression lines function the same way the Mercury bands do. They function the same way the bull bear pivot does. It's just these lines aren't horizontal like this, because what's cool about these regression lines is they are a graphic representation of the fact that time is both circular and linear. And that is why these don't go sideways. And when these things break in either direction, when you get a move through, now remember, came right down here, it broke, and when it recovers them, it does this. Again, it's like a bungee cord. Comes down direct. So these things are either binary and they hold, or you get the move through, and all that is the algos running your stops. And then boom, when you get the move below and back above, you get this kind of stuff. They run your stops again. How many times have they done that this week? Run your stops again and right back up. And what were they setting you up for the whole time? The last week and a half. They were setting it up to do this. And don't think that this wasn't planned. And I don't mean in a conspiratorial way. I mean in a hardcore machine learning mathematic way. Don't think for a minute that this wasn't the end game of this stop, run, and bounce, and this stop, run, and bounce, and this stop, run, and bounce. Again, and let me go back to this chart that has all these levels. There has never been a day that there have been this many key levels flagged by our algo. So when I'm telling you, my friends, that this whole move, think of it like a football game, okay? You're an offensive coordinator. You don't come out in the same set with the same formation, play after play after play. You have plays that you draw up during the week in the game plan that you're saving for crunch time in the fourth quarter. And guess what? You're setting up those key plays in the first quarter, in the second quarter, and the third quarter. And this is your big play that you drew up. In this case, not just quarters before, but days before. This is Thursday of last week where it started messing with this regression line. So Again, every bit of this happens for a reason. None of this is by chance. The institutional algorithms don't wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and chat amongst themselves and say, well, what do y'all want to do today? It doesn't work that way. And here you have a zoomed in version of this same thing. Now, again, just to make this point one more time, if today wasn't completely planned, then why today did you see one of the most significant sell programs that we've seen maybe in years? And September 3rd has some significance. Go back to 1929, and I am not predicting the same thing. This happened in 1929. But the algorithms are so smart, they can do stuff on days even where you might expect it and still take your money if you don't know in ahead of time where the levels are. All right, so again, if you haven't been to our website, it's mercurysignals.com. If you'd like to get a hold of me, either on the website, you can send me an email directly, take a look at our Twitter feed. And look, I publish a lot of this stuff on Twitter. Now, we always give it to our members first, but I publish some really valuable information, like putting out those daily bull bear pivots a few minutes before the market opens. Again, our members get it much earlier. And I don't publish the extent of the list that we provide to our members, but we put a few out there each day. Why? Because I didn't design this for the institutional algorithms. They have enough toys of their own to play with. This was designed for you, for individual traders like you and me that are tired of the institutional algos taking everybody else's money. So if you want to have the same edge that they have, go to our website. You will laugh when you see what we charge relative to the accuracy of what we show you every single day. And by the way, to close up our video, if you do want to try out our service, we give you the flexibility to either pay monthly or bi-weekly, meaning every 14 days. Of course, if you pay monthly, you get a big discount. But there are no contracts. You can cancel at any time. There is no software to buy. And at checkout, on the checkout page, bottom left-hand corner, if you put in the code GT40, you'll get $40 off your first bill. Look, I got to share this with you. This is a labor of love. I do this from 7 in the morning till 11, 12 o'clock at night. This video is being recorded at 10, 11 Eastern time. I've been at my computer since literally 7 a.m. this morning. And it is absolutely a blessing to be able to do for a living, for work, something that you truly love. And again, every single day, I do this with the thought in mind that there's individual traders like you who need to have the same information that the institutions have. So please check out our website. Send us some feedback. Follow us on Twitter. Please let us know if there's anything that we can help you with. And let me close with this, most importantly. It's a very difficult time in our country. A lot of folks are having financial issues, job issues, back to school issues. We've got 4 kids. Tell me about it. There is no better time. I don't think there's ever been a better time to have a relationship with God if you don't have one already. So if you heard nothing about what I said tonight, if you never go to our website, if you never even consider subscribing to our trading service, I am begging you. I'm absolutely begging you. Invite the Lord into your heart. And the riches that you will get from that, this stuff on the screen pales in comparison. God bless you. God bless your family. We love you. We thank you for your time, and we hope to see you again soon.